Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day here on the homestead. It's been a hot minute since I posted anything here on the channel. I think it's been 2 months since I actually recorded a video. I've been taking some time for myself, and I've actually created several videos, and I get to editing them, and I'm like, that's not the video I want to post. And so I just delete it. Gone. And it sucks because it took a lot of time to make those videos, but sometimes it just wasn't the one that stuck. So today's video is going up no matter what. Man, like I said, I've been busy trying to get things done here on the homestead. Winter where I live starts to kind of start settling in here in October, like the middle to late October. And so there's a lot of things I got to get wrapped up around the property before that can happen. Well, winter will come whenever it comes, but I want to get things ready to go before it does show up. I'm trying to continue with my self-reliant, self-sustaining home style or my lifestyle here. I'm not reliant on the government by any means, but I do want to create that lifestyle where I am not dependent in the future at all. I'm trying to create the plan and utilize it. And so it's kind of tough. It takes time and money and effort. And some days it's harder than the others. I said in times past, it's an interesting time to be alive. And at the time, those were true. It was an interesting time to be alive. Here we are in 2021, 9 months into the Biden administration, and it's a very interesting time to be alive. And I think it takes precedence over all those other times in other videos and in history. This is kind of a catch-all video. There's a lot of things to talk about, and I just haven't taking the time to put them on video, basically because YouTube would basically take them down. History. History is something I like. I like to read history, and I like to point out that when history is being repeated, and it's negative history being repeated, that it needs to be acknowledged that what is happening is not good for our society. A buddy of mine and I we were talking about history the other day, and there was a large portion of history that was never taught in public schools. Now, I'm not going to get deep into that by any means, because I want to have some resources on that when that time comes to talk about it. But there's a large section of history that was never taught in school. And the way I look at history and the books that we learned from in my day, well, that was much different than the history that my father learned. And my grandfather, of course, my grandfather his generation was a lot of what happened in my history book, World War II and that kind of stuff. And I feel like we as a society like to push out history, modern history, very, very quickly. We'll learn about ancient history, ancient Rome and Italy and all that kind of stuff. But then there's this giant gap in there that we don't learn about. And then all of a sudden it comes to the history that we know. I remember being taught, many different things in history, but you just say for the time frame, World War II. And what happened leading up to World War II, and how it was just atrocious, how it happened permanently, at all. How did Hitler come to power? How did Hitler disarm his people? How did Hitler turn his own people on each other? How did Hitler convince people that other people with a different characteristic or religion or eye color or hair color, how did he convince them that those people were bad? How did the people who ended up in concentration camps push through to stay alive, skin and bones, to either make it or go to a gas chamber? There's a lot of things that led up to World War II, right? And then Pearl Harbor happened. There's many different things in history that have just been like, what in the hell? And here we are with the Biden administration, 9 months in, and we're just expediting everything that Hitler did over a course of, 10 years? Less than 10 years? We're doing it in 9 months? And I know this kind of goes away from, the channel and the homesteading and that kind of stuff, but it will tie in if you pay attention. The big thing is when at the beginning of CV19, I made several videos talking about how we didn't know anything and how we could possibly be prepared, how to utilize things that we did have on hand, and kind of sharing my knowledge of, from my employment and that kind of stuff. And people laughed, right? And then it became 2 weeks to slow the spread, guys. You got to stay home. Don't go shopping. Don't go to the grocery store. If you do, wear a mask. Actually, don't wear a mask yet, but just make sure you get in and out. 6 foot, social distance. It should have been called physical distance, because social distancing has really killed people mentally. And then you all know the story that was written, Then it's going to be lockdowns for several months, kill the economy, kill businesses, lifestyles are just destroyed, all in the name of the health of others. And then here we are, 10 months after that or so, after that all went down, and we have a vaccine. And if you don't want a vaccine, you're deemed, a leper or something? You're an anti-vaxxer. You don't trust the science. Don't you dare try to get healthy, and don't you dare try to do something appropriate. You need a vaccine to be healthy. You need to wear a mask because you're going to be putting the person who's 400 pounds and in a wheelchair in a little fat cart riding around Walmart. You're going to put their health in danger. We are on that fast track of turning on our fellow man. How could Hitler ever do that? How could Hitler convince people to turn on their fellow man? Here we are, 2021. And then we have Biden coming out yesterday threatening U.S. citizens. And then telling businesses that if you employ over 100 people, you will have vaccines imposed upon you, or weekly negative testing. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen then? If you don't require your 100 employees or 200 employees to be vaccinated, and you require weekly negative testing, and suddenly somebody comes up with a positive test, what's the next thing that the government's going to do? Arrest people? Fine them for not having pushed vaccines upon their employees? No, that can't happen, guys. There's no way that would ever happen. No. I have never seen so many people turn on their friends, their family, their neighbors, their coworkers, strangers on the street because their thoughts are different. except for in the history books. And here we are. Here we are, repeating history. You know, there's a saying from many, many years ago, and I can't say it verbatim right now, but, you know, if you give up a little bit of liberty for safety, you don't deserve liberty or safety. And here we are with Joe Biden saying it's not about your liberty, it's for safety of the people. Man, I don't know. And, you know, tomorrow, like I said, is September 11th, 2021, the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. We just lost 13 service members in Kabul after we pulled out of the country in the middle of the night, leaving thousands of American citizens, thousands of firearms, ammunition, tanks, Hummers, helicopters, whatever they be. And the Taliban turn around, have a suicide bomber, kill and maim our members of our military and citizens of their country. We have a president who is willing to, I don't know, seemingly check the time because screw these people coming off this plane, these 13 service members who went into harm's way to retrieve citizens that Mr. Watch Checker left behind. But it's always going to be deter and blame. It's not my fault. It's Trump's fault. Trump had a plan to pull our military out by May 31st or whatever day it was. And so I did it. I kept up with that plan. But I can almost guarantee you that Trump's plan was probably to get all of our stuff and our citizens out, all of our allies, get them out of the country. No. We're just going to pull the military and leave everything behind. You're going to believe that the military can't find a way to pull their stuff out of the country? Bullshit. Like I said, interesting time to be alive. I'm sitting here talking to a camera, sharing my thoughts. It'll probably be demonetized and censored by YouTube. There's a lot more things that I want to talk about that you can't talk about on YouTube because they want to censor you. And that is, in and of itself, scary. Really scary, guys. Let's go ahead and remember that the Tree of Liberty needs to be watered every once in a while by the blood of tyrants. Yep. See you later.